So one of the things as we're talking about following and losing followers and interacting with new people, what have you learned most from interacting with people from social media? Have you met amazing people? Have you learned something? Have you changed your gardening process from some of the things on social media?
As the end of Generation X, and I love saying that I'm from Generation X. I look a lot younger than I actually am. I learned how to use the internet late, and I learned how to use applications, and different platforms later than most people. I'm reluctant to change, and it's not that I'm reluctant to change. Usually, it's that I'm in the garden anyway. I'm busy, and I stick to what I know. What was the question again?
The question is, what have you learned most from interacting with individuals on social media?
Specifically, social media as a platform has changed my life immensely. I've learned to use it as a tool. I've met people, and these folks that are sitting up here with me specifically have helped my endeavors immensely. When I was first starting out and was too shy to pass the money hat around, being grassroots and being a self-starter, you have to learn to pass that hat around without guilt and without shame. That's something that Heather Jo Flores, Food Not Lawns author, said to me. And I coin, over and over, because it's true. It's like, all right, I'm doing good here. I'm gonna pass this hat around, and I'm gonna ask you, what you can do to help. Emily Walter here, A Girl in the Garden, her podcast, her Instagram feed, her Facebook feed, her social persona has helped to promote the Barrio Logan Seed Bank. From there, it was the Barrio Logan Urban Farm, the San Diego Heirloom Seed Swap, on and on and on. It's that radio exposure, it's that exposure to numbers that really has propelled some of the work, into the trajectory that's led me to this spot on this stage today. Same thing with Baker Creek, my reckoning with Baker Creek. We're all sitting here at the Heirloom Expo talking on stage about social media, and it is relevant because this is how we met. This is how we got to this point today.
I think this is how we all met.
No, completely, 100%. Like Instagram. Thanks, Insta. Send us money. Okay, so it's what have we learned?
What is some of the things you've learned from interacting with individuals on social media?
I would say if you ever post anything that is untrue, you will find out pretty quick. There's always somebody out there that knows more, has more knowledge, or if you're posting something that really isn't in line with, like if I post something and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm trying this new product, and then all of a sudden somebody's like, oh, you know that like 3 tiers up in that company structure, they're owned by Monsanto, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I did not know that. So I think also doing things with love and positivity. Like I think instead of saying, I try to personally keep things positive, and I think this is a rule in life too. Like it is what you make it, but keeping a positive attitude and not necessarily focusing on the negatives, but focusing on the positives of whatever you're talking about seems to be a good kind of common theme in what I try in my life, and I definitely have my moments for sure. But that is incredibly, that's something I've learned and really try to abide by in my content and my life content. Another thing I've learned, or what's the exact question again? Like,
how has social media affected you and changed?
Interacting with people, what have you learned, changed? Have you changed gardening processes?
Absolutely. I've picked up a lot of knowledge from people all over the world. I've learned a lot about like these guys and yourself and just like that. There's a lot of people out there that see what we're doing and wholeheartedly support it. And I don't know, I think that I've learned more about myself too, and it's a self-reflection to go and maybe scroll back 6 months and you totally forgot about something you were doing, or like, oh my God, cabbage was in season, that was awesome. So I don't know, I think you can really learn a lot from social media. I think I've also learned too that it's incredibly addictive, and that I check my phone way too much sometimes, and that social media life, you can't base your happiness on how many likes you get or how many new followers you get, or you can't base your sadness if you're losing followers. This is, there's a lot of things going on in social media, but having that human-to-human connection is incredibly important, and the human-to-nature connection. At that same level with what we're doing here, planting, I think there's an incredible opportunity for all of us. Being seed savers, being permaculture-style gardeners, being regenerative agriculturists, to share and educate every single person that comes on our page. So I think that is a really, I've learned to do that, and that I used to never want to do videos, and like I started doing that. I had to like get out of that, fear-based mentality and just know that what we've been doing is important and needs to be shared, and it's pretty simple, and people want to hear about it and want to learn. So.
Cool. One thing to think about is that your social media is like a garden. It's going to be changing. There's going to be things in there that you want, things that you don't want, and you just have to be okay with that. You have to understand that there's going to be trolls, there's going to be haters, there's going to be lovers, and things that, you'll have consistent people that will see your stuff every time. It's really nice to see somebody that likes a photo every single time or sees a video every single time. And then you have the ones in and out, Social media can be very addicting. I only have one social media. I used to be on Facebook and Snapchat, but I've drifted away from that and realizing that it's more important to be present and in the garden and understanding what's happening in front of us instead of getting lost in the illusion of social media, because a lot of it can be filled with fake stuff, A lot of people taking other people's photos and claiming it as their own. So you have to be careful sometimes, but what I've learned most about, being on social media is the community and the people that you can meet, hashtagging garden problems. Next thing you know, you can find somebody to give you the answer to your garden problems, seed saving swap. You can find people that might be right around the corner on the other side of the country that has this rare seed that you want in your collection or that you want to help produce and save and preserve. So it is a beast. It is something that you have to kind of take with open hands and understand that it's not always going to be what you want or what you like, but it can be very educational and fun at the same time.